As the battle over the Second Amendment heats up on Capitol Hill, one crime victim is sounding off on the difficulty that he faces protecting himself by obtaining a concealed carry permit. One America's John Hines reports from Washington.
When Washington, D.C.-based conservative comic Tim Young was robbed at gunpoint, his support for gun rights went from theory to practical in his skipped heartbeat. Now he has embarked on an odyssey to secure a concealed carry permit in a city that doesn't like to issue them, despite the fact that criminals are often armed and dangerous.
So I was robbed at gunpoint by my place in a kind of, I'd say, nicer part of Washington, D.C., southwest, in between the waterfront station and the new wharf. I was approached by two young gentlemen, not quite gentlemen. One grabbed me from behind, the other pointed a gun at me, and they demanded my cell phone.
Bystanders phoned 911. The police showed up, but of course found nothing, all of which left Young with a strange feeling as he processed what had happened.
So I grew up in Baltimore City, in a bad part of Baltimore City, very impoverished neighborhood. And I was never affected by crime. It had never hit me before the way that it hit me here. And there's something that changes in the way that you view the world when you feel helpless. Had I had a concealed weapon, and I've reviewed this in my mind many, many times, I would have had the opportunity to at least draw the weapon and scare them off.
So he's decided to apply for a concealed carry permit in Washington, D.C., which won't be easy due to a required 18 hours of training and several $100s in expenses. And former NRA President Dave Hines says there's another reason it's tough to get a concealed carry permit in D.C.
Most states are what we call shall issue states. In other words, if you want a permit and they can't demonstrate that you shouldn't have one, then they're required to issue it. Then there are jurisdictions that are what we call may issue jurisdictions, which include the District of Columbia, Maryland, New York, and some others. Those are jurisdictions in which the political power is in the hands of the government because they come to you and say, why? That gives them the discretionary right to deny you the permit. And they do that more often than they grant it.
So many jurisdictions like D.C. don't make it easy to obtain a concealed carry permit, while some states will issue one on demand. Keene adds that until the Supreme Court rules on this point or Congress approves legislation, this inconsistency will remain. John Hines, One American News, Washington.
We can use your help. Call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call today.